Hello, this is Patrick at 1CNC West, and what we're going to do in this training video is take a look at the coordinate system used by the 1CNC lathe software. So first of all, by default, you're going to see that there's two axis nomes. In the lower right-hand corner, you have X and Z, and that's normal for lathe, where X is up and down and Z is left and right. And then in the lower left-hand corner, you have another axis nome, and that's showing X and Y like a mill system. Well, let me explain why there's both of them here. Well, this axis nome represents manufacturing. So in manufacturing, the CNC code's definitely going to be X and Z, as you would expect for any lathe CAD/CAM software. So think of this as the axis nome for your manufacturing. This axis nome has to do with geometry creation. Now, there are some people that still like to use X and Y when creating their lathe parts. And so that's what this is all about. This simply is just geometry creation. In fact, if I were to head up to any one of these commands, for example, point, you'll see that we have X, Y, and Z. Okay, so think of this axis nome as being just for geometry creation, and this axis nome is for manufacture. All right, now, what if you want to create your geometry using Z and X, just like you have for manufacture? In other words, for your geometry, you want this to be the Z-axis and this to be the X-axis. Well, you can definitely do that. It's very easy to set up. What you want to do is head up here and select File, and then select Properties, and then on this very first tab, which is the General tab, you'll notice there's an option down here that says Coordinate Format. Now I'm going to left click here. As soon as I do that, we're going to click OK. And 1CNC is going to typically want you to restart your software. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the video on pause. I'm going to close 1CNC down, and then I'm going to relaunch 1CNC, and now the coordinate systems will be reset. Okay, so I shut 1CNC down and I relaunched it, and now of course you'll still see there's just one axis nome here now, and the reason why there's only one is because now both the manufacturer and the geometry are using this as the Z-axis and this as the X-axis. Also notice now when I go to create a point, you'll notice now that these are now Z, X, and Y as opposed to X, Y, and Z. Okay, so that's how you can easily switch between setting up the geometry side of the 1CNC software to use the standard XYZ coordinate system or the ZXY coordinate system, just by going into Properties and clicking this radio button. Don't forget that after you do that, you're going to get a little message that's going to ask you or going to remind you that you need to restart the software. So just simply shut the software down and relaunch it and you'll be set. Okay? Hey, thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.